Flosstube. It is Wednesday the 24th of August. Sorry, I don't know which day it is. How are you all doing? I've had a very good stitchy month. Thought I'd give you an update. The Summer Olympic Challenge in Stitch Mania finished on Sunday 21st. It was such a fun stitch along. It's been ace. So I did all my plans for that. I'll show you what I did. I've got 3 FFOs and lots of progress on my whips. So yeah, we'll get started. So for the summer, oh, do you remember I had the lovely notebook for my birthday? I've decided to use one. So I'm using this for all the stitch alongs that I'm participating in, because there's quite a lot now. And I love participating in them because you get to pull out old whips, you just get to work on loads of stuff. So I'm doing sort of a month on a page. This was August, and it looks a lot because the Summer Olympic Challenge, they were all listed. And then the Weekend Rush for Cross Stitch Finish Line, the Colour a Day stitch alongs for Stitch Mania, and the Cross Stitch Finish Line one that Kate, Queen of Starts, is doing. That's on August 26th, which is Friday, and that's to stitch the letter C, so that one's written down. September, I've got lots of plans for September, so I'll go through those in a minute. And then I've done October, and there's a new stitch along in Stitch Mania, and it's the Election 2016 challenge. So it's a similar thing to the Summer Olympic Challenge, and I've picked out all my whips and got everything kitted up ready for that. And then November, there's a few. There's one which is the letter F for Cross Stitch Finish Line. It's the Now I Know My ABC stitch along. I haven't picked my whip for that yet. It depends how far along I am on something. And then December, there's a couple I need to choose. And then that starts January 2017. I've signed up for quite a lot in. I've chosen all my Stitch Mania stitch alongs for 2017. I think I've chosen my cross stitch finish line ones and a couple of cross stitches fun, but I haven't decided on my whips yet. I need to get to sort of November to see where I am. So thought I would make use of it. I didn't want to use them, but this is a really good thing to keep all my stitch alongs and know where I am. I'm still using my journal to sort of, I write down what I've worked on each day and what day I am on so far on that whip. So I'll start off. I've this month was Old World Map month, so I got quite a bit done on this. So I got to the other end. I think I'd finished that page, hadn't I, on my last video, and then I had another page and like a little partial with 2 columns, so I worked those 2 together and finished. And then I'll stand up. I think I used that for the Weekend Rush, and then came back over to the left and did this other page here. So I think there's a week left of August, isn't there? And there's another Weekend Rush coming up this weekend for Cross Stitch Finish Line. So I'm going to make a start on this page and see how far I get. But that is coming along lovely. I'm really liking this month, picking it 1 month for one head. So that was that. I've also been working on my giant Harry Potter. I use that for quite a few. Hi Jared. Hi. I use that for quite a few of the Days in the Summer Olympic Challenge. It's really, really crinkled. I took it off my scroll frame to put my big red ship on there ready, and then I've had it in a hoop, and I've took it out of the hoop because you have to keep moving it, and I'm going to put it on a Q-snap, I think, and put it on my Lowry stand. I'm back in my sewing room, by the way. I had a bit of a sort out and an overhaul, and I've managed to get all my cross stitching stuff in here now as well, because I had some in a cupboard in the living room and some on the bookcase in the dining room, and the scroll frames were just sort of stood in the corner. So I've got all my stuff in here. It's all organised. So I'm back to filming up here because everything's here now. I just take a little project downstairs to stitch in the evening, so I'm not sat up here at night as well. You okay? Oh, I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, what I was going to say, I'm going to have to make some covers for my scroll frames, because anyone that sews knows as soon as you start sewing on the sewing machine, there's loads of like fibrous dust and bits of lint and all sorts, so I don't want it all to get dusty. So, Giant Harry Potter. So for the red day in the Olympic rings, I did Victor Crumb because he was red, and then I carried across and did Fleur. And for the Fire and Flames, I did the Goblet of Fire. I was going to do I'm Actually a Mermaid, but realised that that's fire linked. And then for the Copper and Bronze, I did the little Grindylow, and then worked down a bit. Oh, that was the gold, the Deathly Hallows, and the little crystal ball, and a couple of gold bits. Sorry it's so creased. I'm going to iron it before I put it on the Q-snap and get it all nice again. And then I've done Dolores Umbridge and Argos Filch, and a couple of the whatchamacallits, notices. So I'll show you it all done. If anyone else has got this far, that I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. The chart, you do the crosses on the main bit of the letter and then you backstitch, but it tells you to backstitch round the cross stitch bits as well. So it's quite, I think it looks a bit messy, but I'm not taking it out. There's so many mistakes on this you would not believe. Fred and George, for some reason, have an extra row under their hat. They have an extra row of ginger hair, and the gap from there to there is right, and the gap between the bottom of Fred and George and the letters is right, and the gap down there from the letters to Fleur is right. So I don't know what's gone wrong there. I don't know. So whether actually the whole lot is wrong, but it like that bit to there is right, and that bit to there is right, and that was done ages ago. So I don't know, but there's loads of little mistakes on this. It's unique. So I will stand up and I will sort of try and roll it and show you all of it so far. So I've got down to there, and that's how much left. So I'm using this for quite a lot of stitch alongs. There's a stitch along on the 1st of September. Let me check my new stitch along book. 1st of September in Stitch Mania is Catch the Hogwarts Express. That's for one day. And then the monthly stitch along for September in Stitch Mania is World of Pure Imagination. So I'm going to use the Giant Harry Potter for that. 1st of September in Cross Stitch It's Fun is a fantasy stitch along. I'm using it for that. So obviously that's all on the same day. Oh, and 26th of September in Cross Stitch Finish Line, Now I Know My ABC, is the letter D, so I shall use the giant Harry Potter for that, for the oh gosh, the spell. What is that? I was so organised, people. I was all organised. Oh, there we go. It is, there's Confundo down there and Reducto down there, so I shall use that for the letter D. So it'll probably get quite a bit done in September. What else did I work on? I worked on, I was really organised. I've got it all here already. Now it's all gone to pot. I'm actually a mermaid. I use this for a couple of the challenge pieces in the Summer Olympic Challenge. So that's going to be for my daughter. I've got quite a bit done on this. I think I've only worked 3 or 4 days, but sort of just got it out. Let's put the fabric behind it because it's quite see-through. This is stitched on 28 count Lugana from Chromatic Alchemy. So it's stitched 2 over 2. So I'm quite pleased with that. There's loads of like little bubbles that are just like one stitch of a real pale colour, and I don't know if I'll put them all in. Not all the little ones. So that's that. And I worked on the Heart and Home from Cross Stitcher, July. So this is going to be a gift for my mum. I was thinking Christmas, but I'm not sure. Her birthday's in January, so either one of those. But this is, I love this. I love all the bright colours, but there are loads of mistakes on this. So this is where I got. I'll bring it up close and show you. So before, I think I'd done the flowers down there, and I'd done the roof. And I think I'd done this flower, and then for one of the challenges in the Summer Olympic Challenge, it was an animal, so I thought, oh, I did the bird, and I thought, oh, I'll do the cat. So I counted over and did the cat, and then when I went to fill in the flowers there, it was completely wrong, but I couldn't figure out, I couldn't figure it out. So I stitched down the edge of the house down to there, and then started to count these flowers from there where I knew was right and go back along, but that round there, geez, it's a mess. Some of the stitches are 1 over 1 to make it fit, because just, well, you know me, I don't take it out. But I can't seem to do a project without making at least one mistake. What else did I work on? I worked on the Goonies. Oh, and I haven't got the chart to show you. No matter. But I finished it. This is a present for my daughter's boyfriend in September. I finished it and framed it. I wasn't sure about the frame at first, but let me get some glare. But I quite like it now. It says Goonies never say die. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's a bit better. And that's stitched on the other half of the Poseidon 28 count Lugana that the I'm Actually a Mermaid is on. It looks creased in there, but it's not. It's like the dye of the fabric. So I worked on that. Used it for a couple of the challenge. I think the silver, and I think the back stitch for speciality. That might have been Heart and Home actually. So that's done. Really pleased with that. I seem to be able to use quite a few, like use all those, because how many days was that Olympic challenge? It ran from the 5th to the 21st, and I think I did it all in like 5 or 6 whips, so that was really good. And the Goonies was a new start, wasn't it? I'm Actually a Mermaid was a new start, and Heart and Home was a new start, so I'm pleased with what I've got done on that. And then I finished these ages ago and had the frames ages ago, and I FFO'd them this weekend, well, Monday. So that's the oh, there we go. That's the one flower. So I'm quite pleased with that. And then that was the, I'm calling it a sunflower. I know it's not a sunflower. I can't pronounce the name of the flower it is. It begins with R. So I'm really pleased with those. They're going to hang in my toilet. Just to sort of brighten it up a bit. Quite like flowers, and they're quite nice colours. So that is all I worked on. I have been preparing for the 1st of September because I'm going to start Big Red Ship of Life. I'm so excited. You can't believe how many times I've picked it up and thought, what does it matter if I start it now? But I made my plan and I'm going to stick to it. And I decided also that I finished the Goonies and I'm going to finish I'm Actually a Mermaid before I start this. So if I happen to finish I'm Actually a Mermaid before the 1st, I might start this, but that's the plan. I've got my fabric ready. That's all on there ready. Ready to go. That's the 18 count Rustico Ada. I've got all my threads, and what I've done, I can't take credit for this idea because I have no imagination. Somebody suggested on Instagram to pre-cut some threads, so I made a little card. I wrote the project and the colour, not that I'll forget, but so I think I've done 4 skeins ready, or pre-cut lengths, so I can just pull them off, stitch away, and that'll sort of keep me going for quite a while. But yeah, somebody sort of gave me the idea when I posted a picture on Instagram, so that'll save a bit of time and I can just get started. Right, my plan, I was going to say something else. I've ordered a book. I've decided I'm not buying any more charts until February 2017, and the reason I'm saying February is because there's a craft, Stitch and Craft show it's called, and it's like 5 minutes from my house, and I went this year and got quite a bit of stuff, so I'm going to go. There's a lot of paper craft stuff there, but there's 2 or 3. There's a couple of quilting stands which I like, but there's 2 or 3 really good cross stitch stands. And the one, she sells all Country Cottage, Jardin Prive, Little House Needleworks, all those sort of charts. So I'm going to wait and go on a bit of a binge in February. So I'm buying fabric and bits of thread that I need, and I've excuse me, I've just ordered the Jane Netley Mayhew Animal Safari book. There's a project in there I'm going to stitch. I don't think I'll be able to show on here, but I will put it on my Instagram. So I haven't got any haul. My fabric of the month for Chromatic Alchemy was posted today apparently, so that's on its way. I dyed my hair. I had a bit of a menopausal meltdown and decided that I hated my hair. So I dyed it myself, first time in like donkey's years. So I feel better now. September plans. So I've already said 1st of September it will be Giant Harry Potter Day for the 3 stitch alongs. 5th of September in Cross Stitch Finish Line is a magazine or book stitch along, and I'm going to stitch the sewing sampler that I showed before. 24th of September, Stitch Mania is the Colour a Day stitch along, and it's Orange Crush, so I'll be working on Heart and Home, because there's lots of orange in that. And then 26th September, Now I Know My ABC in cross stitch finish lines, the letter D, so I'm going to do one of the spells on Giant Harry Potter. The cross stitch finish line weekend rush, there's two, 9th of September to the 11th and the 23rd to the 25th. It will be Ex Machina, because that's her month to come out. And then my next update, I will tell you my plans for October, because there's the election challenge and there's a couple of new starts I've got planned, and I've kitted them up ready, so I will show you. I've started this project before and I went like hopelessly wrong. That's Country Cottage Needleworks, To Have and to Hold. So I'm going to stitch that, and then I'm going to put my wedding date in there. So that's that. I've had real fun the last week kitting up for stitch alongs. And I've done it all from stash. I think I have done it all from stash. I had to order some threads for something else. Oh, for the Old World map. Had to go through getting a bit low on some skeins, so I ordered a few extra threads. And then another new start, it's from the Cross Stitch Gold. I think this was the last issue 131. Yeah, this was the one I had to buy. So my first subscription one will come soon, and I've picked sorry, I should have marked the page. There's quite a few in here I really like, but I've picked this one. So Autumn Harvest. And this one is going to be used in October for a couple of the themes on the election challenge, and then it's going to be used for something else. But in there, I don't know if you can, in there, the little gold bits, they are seed beads. So that's the only thing I haven't got yet for that, but I'm using, I've made a working copy of my chart as well. I think I've got all the threads. I think I'm just missing 3, and I've written down what I've swapped out, but I'm using a cut off from the Big Red Ship of Life. I cut some off the bottom, and it's the perfect size piece for that. So that's ready for October. And then I was lucky enough to win a giveaway on Instagram from Raquel for the Stitching Rabbit, and I was, excuse the printout because our printer just about gave up the ghost after this one, but it's Faces of Fairy 201, and I won it a few months ago, and I've been itching to start. And there's a stitch along coming up in November, and it's for Stitch Mania, and it's something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. So that's going to be for week 2 for my new. And while I was sorting through my stash to bring it all up here and sort of reorganise, I've got a piece of 18 count Ada that's perfect size, and, excuse me, I've kitted up threads. I had the majority of them, to be fair. I ordered a couple when I was replacing some, and then there's a list of some of the threads. There's 3 from Mermaid, which will be finished, and there's 4 from a sewing sampler, which I'm just going to borrow. I'm not really enjoying that sewing sampler. I was so excited to start it when I first bought it, and I'm not really enjoying it. But yeah, so I think that is it, folks. I was going to mention somebody. Who was I going to mention? No. I made a thing. On Instagram, Stacey from Arty Moments did a bit of a stitch along, and she supplied the chart, and there were 10 of us in it, and you picked the person that you were going to make for, and it's a secret, so only Stacey knows who you're making for. And I chose the person that I was going to make this for. So I stitched, remember me saying I stitched that friends that stitch together stay together. I couldn't work out how to finish it because I've got to post it, so I didn't want to put it in a frame. And I watched a lot of Vonna's finishing things and her tutorials, and I thought I'll make a little ornament, my first one. So I've backed it in little polka dot, and I've stuffed it with like toy stuffing, and then I attached a little ribbon of Russian dolls. So I'm really chuffed with that. And I also made a bag. So my sister bought some fabric in May 2015 and said, will you make me a bag? So I said, I'll have a go. I've made tote, like shopping bags, just plain, no fastenings or zips or anything. I made them for my mum and they're okay. So she said she wanted a messenger one with a flap and a long strap so she can put it over her shoulder. So I thought it was not last week. Was it last week or the week before? I thought, do you know, I'll finish all these little things that are sat up here waiting to be finished. So I made this bag. I was ready to cry. I know how to make a bag. So I'd made the outer part of the bag, and I'd made the lining, and I'd done the box corner so that it had a flat bottom. I attached the straps to the outer part of the bag, and I'd attached then I had to attach my flap. So I attached my flap, turned it the right way around. The flap was going the wrong way. Took that twice, I did that. So got that right, and I was ready to sort of think, oh, stuff this, I'm not doing it, I'll go and buy one. When you attach the lining, you have to have the bag, let me get this, the bag the right way, the outer part of the bag the right way, and the lining part that you've made inside out, and then you put it all inside the lining, sew it round, leave your little hole, turn it round the right way, and then stuff the lining in, and it's made. I know how to do that. So I remembered from making the tote that you have to shove the straps in so that when you sew around, turn it the right way, the straps are there. So I did it, and I attached the lining. Took me ages to put it all the right way out. The straps have completely disappeared. They're in between the lining and the outer part of the bag. So I felt like I wasted a whole day on that from not concentrating and just... Anyway, I made it. She loved it. The strap was far too narrow. It had loads of little flaws. But I did manage to do quite nice, neat top stitching round. But I've already given it her because it was her birthday, so I can't show you. But I think there is a picture on my Instagram. So I've been quite productive. I've finished a few other little things that have gone off to where they were supposed to go. I've got a quilt to quilt for a friend. She's already done I've got to sandwich it together and quilt it and attach the binding, but I'm going to do that next week. So that is it, and those are my plans. So I feel like I've been a bit all over the place. I had it all organised and laid out, and I feel like I've been a bit all over the place sort of explaining. But there was someone I was going to mention, and I can't remember who it is. Thank you, Stephanie, for the Miss Oh So Crafty, for the tip on steaming the old wood map. It has made it a bit better. So I'm more confident now that when it's finished, when I wash it and dry it and iron it, that it will be better. So thank you for that tip. And thank you everyone for all the lovely comments you always leave. They're really nice. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you, Vonna, for the lovely shout out. That was really sweet of you. And I just want to send my hugs and love to people in Louisiana. I obviously follow a few, and I've watched a few of you on Flosstube, and I know, you know, it's been absolutely devastating that some of you have just lost your homes and everything. I can't imagine. So I'm sending lots of love and hugs to you all there, and I hope that it just, well, I hope you can sort of salvage something and that you're getting lots of help and stuff like that. So big love to you all. I'm going to go now because when I made the behind the scenes tag, I said I found the introductions really awkward, and all of a sudden I'm finding the goodbyes really awkward. So I actually don't want to leave you all my lovely friends. But I'm watching you all. You're all making fab vids, and I'm trying to comment as much as possible. Watch later list went back up to something stupid, but it's down to about 30 again, I think, now. So I'm going to have an afternoon of Flosstube this afternoon. Start a new page on Old World Map. I think I've got to stitch yellow today for the oh, I forgot. Yeah, the Stitch Mania colour a day stitch along today is yellow. So I'm going to do Cedric Diggory on Giant Harry Potter. So that is it, I think. Nothing more to say. So I'm going to love you and leave you now. Have a great stitching month, well, the rest of August, and I will see you all in September. Bye.